Your crew is rowing, and every single one of them has a lump of beeswax jammed into their ears. You kneaded it soft in the sun yourself. They can't hear the water. They can't hear each other. They can't hear you. And you are tied upright to the mast with rope around your chest and your arms because you gave one very specific order before you left. Whatever I do, whatever I say, do not untie me. And if I beg you, and I am going to beg you, tie me tighter. You set this up on purpose. You are about to become the only man in history who hears the sirens sing and lives. Here's why he's ready for them, Circe warned him. Before he sailed away from her island, she sat him down and listed everything coming for him, and first on that list was 2 singers on a rock. She's blunt about it. Any man who hears them never sees his home again. Their meadow is heaped with bones, bodies rotting where they landed, skin shriveling off them. And then she gives him the workaround, wax in the crew's ears. And if you want to hear it, and she knows perfectly well he does, have your men lash you to the mast. Now here's the thing nobody tells you about the sirens. They aren't mermaids. There's no fishtail anywhere. In Homer, they're just voices on an island, and in Greek art for centuries afterwards they're drawn as birds, bird bodies, women's faces perched on a rock. The fishtail arrived much later out of medieval bestiaries mixing sirens up with sea nymphs, and the mix-up stuck so hard it's now baked into entire languages. Sirène in French, sirena in Spanish, both meaning mermaid. English kept the sound instead, which is why the thing on top of an ambulance is named after a monster whose entire weapon was a noise you couldn't stop listening to. And here's the part that actually matters. They don't sing about love. They don't sing about beauty. There is nothing seductive about it in the way we've all been told. What the sirens sing to Odysseus is this: we know everything. We know what happened at Troy. Everything the Greeks suffered there, everything the Trojans suffered. We know everything that happens anywhere on earth. Stop your ship. Come and listen. We'll tell you. They aren't offering him a woman. They're offering him knowledge. And better than that, they're offering to tell him about himself, his war, his story, his own glory, sung back to him by someone who saw it. For the cleverest man alive, a man whose entire identity is built on knowing things and wanting to know more, that isn't a temptation. That's a bullseye. So he hears it, and it works instantly and completely. The most self-controlled man in the entire poem loses control in roughly 1 second. He jerks his eyebrows at the crew to cut him loose. He shouts at them, and 2 of his men, Perimedes and Eurylochus, stand up and do exactly what he told them to do. They wrap more rope around him, and they pull it tight. The rowers row, the voices thin out behind them, and he comes back to himself. And that's the real trick, and it's the reason people still talk about this scene 3,000 years later. Odysseus doesn't beat the sirens by being strong. He beats them by assuming in advance that he'll be weak. He makes the decision while he's still able to make it, and then he makes it physically impossible for his future self to undo it. Psychologists and economists have a name for this. They call it a Ulysses contract, a Ulysses pact. It's a real term used in real medicine and real law. Advance directives where a patient agrees now to treatment they might refuse later. Retirement plans you have to actively opt out of instead of into. All of it named after this exact moment on this exact boat. So the next time you delete the app off your phone, instead of just promising yourself you'll use it less, or you leave the card at home, or you hand somebody else the password, or you put the alarm clock across the room so you physically have to stand up to switch it off. You're not being dramatic, and you're not admitting you're weak. You're using the oldest trick in the book, literally the oldest one. 3,000 years ago, the smartest man in the world looked at himself honestly, decided he could not be trusted, and asked his friends to tie him to a pole. And it worked.